We have a slide gate, and also there are slide gate openers available. In how you measure them is of the gate weight. So there is a 300 kilo, a 500 kilo, a 1000 kilo, and a 1500 kilo gate opener. Very hot. So in our case, we have a slide gate. On the slide gate, we already mounted the sliding gate racks. This is whether you could mount them as plastic items like this one. They are very good and very quiet, since the pinion or the sprocket here in front will drive metal to plastic. It will be a very quiet operation. But of course, over 500 kilo gate weight, plastic is not anymore becoming an option. You need to go to steel. The most difficult for the slider is, where do I mount it? And to mount it, there's so-called surface mount plate. This you concrete into your floor. Later, when the opener placed on, you have still about 2-3 centimeters height adjustment possibility. So you don't need to worry that that you concreted in a ½ inch too high or a ½ inch too low. So a lot of room is possible to play with it. Also, I would recommend first do the plate, then put the opener, and then mount the rack. The rack should be the last that comes. Or you order your gate directly from your manufacturer, and the manufacturer provides you the plate included with your post. That's a possibility. Then you don't need to do very much. Of course, you can also release a slider and open a gate manually. There's also a key. When you open the lock, you can turn here 180 degrees, and then the pinion here in front, or the sprocket, is free to turn. So, to mount it, cover off. Here's the advantage of the slider. The slide gate opener comes already pre-wired to you. Control board, if you want, is already inside. Waterproof enclosure, very compact. Very compact. You place it on your surface mount plate to open and close. The two, I know the two needs to be here in my gate, and the one needs to be there. You can fix them. You can fix them with screws, and you also can move the magnets for fine-tuning here. So to open a little further or a little later. What we do in our first try is not to open too much. So. Okay, the control board. The control board has in principle the same functions than a wing-gate control board. It has a force adjustment, it has a automatic closing time, the hold to run mode. On a slider, also a very important part, hold to run. And it has a very special feature. This is the so-called active braking system. A problem at heavy gates is when you switch off the motor. This is essentially what you do. You switch off the motor. The motor becomes driven from the heavy gate. It's like in a car. You switch off the engine, but the car would still move. On a gate that is 1,500 kilo heavy, might be a distance like this. So this is a quite noticeable, ugly distance. And this is the reason we have an active brake. And this active brake, what it does is it changes the direction of the motor, so it will stop it and then shut the motor off. Okay? This is a very special, unique feature from us. We prepared this already. To make it easy, we go in with electricity here. This is hot, neutral, hot, earth, neutral. Then here the flashing light, the next two connections. Then the motors already pre-wired from manufacturing for a slider mounted at the right side of the gate. I'm sure the person that did it here did not need to change anything. If you mounted at the other side, you would need to change the directions, brown and black. Otherwise, open would be closed and closed would be open. You maybe would not even notice that closed would be open and open would be closed as long as you don't go on automatic closing. What would it do when you're on automatic closing? It would automatic open, not automatic close your gate. So this is the important part where you always need to be correct. Also, in case of infrared that you have connected, you would not likely want that the infrareds close the gate. We would more want that the infrareds will open the gate. And the sliders have these limits, magnetic limit switches, as explained, and they're already mounted here. We already have our transmitter programmed. What's the big button? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I take my limit switch a little bit further. It would open the gate also further. There's something that can be ordered as an accessory. That is a so-called RPM sensor. This RPM sensor would force control the slider. It is sitting here on top of the motor, and there's a small cable running into the control board. And then if someone would stop the slider, it would notice, aha, someone stopped me, and would reverse the gate and automatically open. So we can a slider with 300 kilo more fine tune than we can tune a gate opener. A slider most of the time is not sensitive against wind load, against wind load. No? Very often you have the problem with the slider that the slider is going uphill. I'm fixing only my motor because everything seems to work. Huh? So, better mounting, no? Otherwise, any spiders will find a new housing. It's warm inside. Okay, very important for a slider is the height to the sprocket. If there is no distance between the sprocket of the slider motor to the rack, there need to be 50% more force to move it. So it is not a car gear. Now also consider that the floor is changing in summer and winter, so there need to be a quite nice distance. So it need to clang clang. It need to have play. It must have play. Otherwise, the gate weight would sit on the rack, and then it is very heavy to drive. And that could be a possible reason why the gate sometimes does not move.
What angle could you push it to build it?
Up to 10%.
10%.
Yeah, and I think it's also 500 kilos. I brought a so-called radial damper with me. A radial damper is, the principle is an oil pump. And here in front is like on a bicycle sprocket. In one side it is free turning, and in the other side it is compressing oil. It goes very strong, and the faster the stronger. So what you do is, the side you drive uphill, it is the free side, and when the door wants to come down, it is brake down or stopped from the damper. This way you avoid the danger that the operator is nicely driving the slider up, but today I have power failure, I release my slider and the door comes down. Ciao! Downhill. No? A door that is coming also from itself downhill running, runs downhill from itself, the problem is that it would push the operator. So this means the operator would speed up, would become always faster, 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 faster. And when you stop the motor, then it would still push the motor. So you would have a big distance until the system stops. So that's not control. And with the damper, you control that very, very, very good.